My name is Couchcoop and it is time to have a look at the Heretic and Hexen Remaster. It does feature local co-op split screen. This game came out in 94-95. Let's have a quick look at it. It is from id Software, so it runs on that early Doom engine. The entire series is sword and sorcery, so it's a lot more than it is. But stay tuned, because I've got an id Classic that I featured on a list coming up at the end of the video. Obviously some improved textures here, load times, all of that material, and we do have a stack of the entire game series within the one place. You can go through the catalogue at any given time between death, you can step out, switch the levels out. It's pretty cool with the variables on how to create a unique experience. Talking of that title differential, we went with Heretic first, so that is the original in the series. 94 doesn't have a jump button. We work from left to right on that title lineup. Things get a bit newer and stuff kind of changes on a gameplay front, but as a cool raw look at the inception of the series, it's great to see a sort of untouched version of this to a certain extent. There's UI improvements, and as you can see, those frames are so pegged at 60, even in split screen, nothing gave way at all. To be fair, the original games, if you had a good enough PC, did actually run at quite a decent frame rate, but you saw that aspect ratio pretty low. We're enjoying 1080 here. I could have easily pushed it further because it is not a graphically thirsty game. It's also tiny on the SSD. Back in the mid-90s, the idea of having a sword and sorcery first-person game with a locked class system was quite a revolutionary one, and it is really fun experimenting with synergies, choosing different characters to go out with, especially in the later games. This model has been so evolved over the decades within gaming that some people will just be out and out shocked at how simplified this does feel, particularly the close quarters melee stuff and, you know, looking at the projectiles and how the AI behave. But the levels are so intricate, the puzzles so detailed, there's key systems, there's hidden doors, there's horde arenas that you get locked into. It kind of keeps you going. You are engaged on a certain level because of this good design. Finding a new spell or weapon really does change up that gameplay style, and it's very cool getting hold of something powerful and grinding your way through the enemies. This game features quite a lot of flyers because of its projectile magic aspect, so if you're walking around with the staff you are going to need some help or to switch things out. There's also a lot of key systems, and the later games come with a shield and sword. It's not as advanced as you think it is, but it's just pretty cool to see that on the heads-up display. This is also a massive nostalgia trip for me, as mentioned in the Quake 2, which we will look at in a second. It's more of a sort of museum piece and experiencing and remembering some of those emotions that you got when you first fired these games up on launch. Having a flawless split screen mode with a mate kind of really adds to that feeling. We moved along to the Heretic Faith Renewed title, and both went with the brawler build, which was well cool, dealing with everything on the fist level, having to get up close and hearing all the noise and chaos, stained glass windows getting broken. You will start smiling. It also sports a neck-breaking running speed. There are F1 levels of G as you hurtle around the map trying to work out a puzzle at 6,000 miles an hour. It does take some getting used to, but combined with that refresh rate, it feels like something very different. This game certainly did not play like this in 1995. The puzzles are also not simple, and it does take some communication with each other to figure out which switch has been switched and where the other person is, because you do constantly get lost and you have a quick map on triangle or Y. Some of these puzzles require both speed and communication. It was doing a thing where it was shutting these doors if we didn't get through them quick enough to get out of a dead end, and that became extremely fun. finally at a Hexen section, the Beyond Heretic. So this is the first of the 3 chunks that we get under that game name. We've gone with the fighter and mage combo, and the spells and projectiles and rewards are a lot more frequent and sort of early given within the Hexen section of this game. I kind of prefer it. A lot happens a lot faster, and there's also quite a lot more on the screen. Enemies and projectiles and weapons have slightly more detail on them, and in a shocking revelationary twist, we were given a jump button. This was really cool. It felt really busy. There were loads of rewards around every corner. The puzzles weren't crazy. It almost has like a bolt gun aesthetic with that retro look, but always having to deal with loads of enemies. A lot of that, the door is locked behind you. You are now going to have to fight a whole bunch of awesomely retro designed 90s monsters. Just as a heads up, and talking of monsters, this is a double bill local co-op bonanza this bank holiday weekend if you are in the UK. On Couch Coop's channel, this is partnered with Earth Defense Force 6, which I will link in the description and annotate. The mage magic in Hexen I feel is a little bit more lavishly animated. I like the idea of that hand coming up and the retro lightning coming off it. There's feels all over this game. The vibe is strong with Hexen. And that brings me on to sort of split screen retro and id Software in general. I feel personally, because I have a preference for sci-fi, that sort of stuff, guns, that the Quake 2 remaster, which does look excellent, slightly newer than H&H, but still solely sat in the 90s and still from id. It really does give an incredible campaign. That was what I put it on the list for, was its structure, length, and just variety in good PvE fighting with guns. And talking of guns, it is August the 24th, 2025. On the 26th of this month, we see an Xbox exclusive in the form of Gears of War step over to the Sony side for the first time in 9th gen history. We also see a Sony exclusive. It is PC available, but it's going over to Xbox, and it is Helldivers 2, one of the greatest online PvE games ever made. It's a hell of a month for us gamers, and I very much look forward to seeing you all down there.